So I want to ask you just a quick, simple diagnostic question as it relates to your small business. When was the last time you sat down and visually and audibly shared the vision of where you see your small business going? Hey, it's Scott Beebe, the Business on Purpose podcast, and it's my delight. I'm so grateful, so thankful that you would take just a few minutes on this podcast and invest time in being liberated from the chaos of working in your business. So thank you. Before I dive into any of the meat of this discussion, I just want to say thank you. I don't take it for granted. So when was the last time that you visibly and audibly shared your vision? I have a hunch that sharing your vision, as courageous as you are with launching new products, with starting that business, with starting a second business, with potentially putting your business in a position to be sellable, with all the courage that it takes to do that, go out on your own. I wonder, do you have an upper limit challenge that is preventing you or prohibiting you from sharing the vision of your business? I know we get it a lot. It may be a situation where you're not doing it visually, but kind of mentally you're rolling your eyes, going, okay, here he goes again. I've listened to some of Scott's podcasts before, and he's talking about vision again. I was on a mastermind call today, and 9 or 10 pretty high-powered small business owners on this mastermind call, and it's such an honor for me to be a part of this group. And one of the small business owners, one of the men on that call said, hey, I'm thinking about hiring another guy in my small business. I've got the money set aside. I've got the cash flow to do it. My business is growing, et cetera, et cetera. Just walk through everything. He's he's an overly pragmatic guy, very similar to me. And so I was just kind of internally chuckling for two reasons. Number one, it wasn't me on the hot seat. He put himself on the hot seat for once, instead of me getting my rear end waxed on the hot seat in our mastermind. But the other reason I was chuckling a little bit is because one of the guys ended up saying, as soon as he was done, he said, hey, instead of us answering or responding to you, what I'd like for you to do is say everything you just said, hit the record button and go back and listen to it. He basically answered his own question. But there was a question after that really kind of stopped the conversation. And it was from the guy who actually owns the biggest company in the whole mastermind by probably 3 or 4 times. And he just stopped and he simply said, hey, what does your vision say? This guy runs a multi-deca million-dollar company. And he could have talked about CFOs and pro formas, and he could have talked about longevity strategies and hiring principles and et cetera. And the first question this guy goes to, as the owner of an impressive company, was, what does your vision say? A lot of us would struggle to answer that question because we don't know what it says, number one. And number two, when we do know what it says, we're a little too freaked out to go share it with anybody. This morning was a powerful morning for me, for our team. I laid out a refreshed vision. This is probably the BOB Vision 3.4. I kind of review and update our vision every couple of months. I'll go back in there and just review and update it. And this was a pretty significant update. You know, I like software. Some updates are more significant than the other update. You might get a version of the software that's 3.1.4.2. But then you get the 4.0 update, and all of a sudden the interface is different. Everything looks a little different in that update. Well, this update to the vision story that I laid out for our team was a significant shift. It was a pivot. And I was amazed as the day rolled on. It just kind of landed, and we just kind of sat in that for a little bit, just thought about it, mulled over it, looked at it, just let our eyes shift on it a little bit. I'm learning, by the way, as a leader, that I've got to do a better job of allowing time for white space, for quiet, even on online virtual meetings, leaving some dead space in there just to kind of noodle and think. And as the day progressed, the feedback I got from the team was pretty overwhelming. We really like the vision. We like where this is going. And we're all in. It's kind of overwhelming. I feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility as the one who's kind of laying out this vision. because I've always got that lingering thought that I'm trying to punch back. If you go to punchfearinthemouth.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I'm always kind of trying to punch that back. But I'm having to do it less and less these days, and I'm feeling more and more courage. Primarily because there's a quote, a verse in the Bible that Ashley has put on a little bulletin board in our kitchen, and it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be scattered. God is with you wherever you go." And I believe that even in our business. Take the religious part out of it. I'm curious, is your upper limit challenge that you don't have a vision written down, or that you do have it written down but you're unwilling, you're uncomfortable to share it? I just want to encourage you. I want to kind of verbally pat you on the back and just tell you, be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid. Don't be scattered. Go in there and share your vision. Now, there's maybe some financial details or things like that you don't want to share, so use discretion. But as to the direction of where you're taking this team, remember, write the vision down so that those who read it may run. What's your vision? Have you shared it? Is it an upper limit challenge for you? I'm really proud of what you're building. I just want to tell you thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of it. mybusinessonpurpose.com/vision if you need help. And we'll see you next time right here on the Business on Purpose podcast.